So I want to make this video because I want this to be very beneficial to you guys. I'm looking to wake you guys up to the highest possible level. Not any single one of us men, or even women, in your guys' cases, we don't ask to get brought up with the upbringing that we had, whether it's amazing or whether it's shit. We don't ask for it, it just happens. Just like when or if we have kids, they will have a particular upbringing that they're not asking for, they're just going to get it. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, things just happen. Life happens. Life happens to all of us. Life has happened to our parents. Life has happened to our grandparents. Life has happened to us. And there comes a point where none of that matters. You become an adult. That is when you have to take your life into full stride. Your upbringing no longer matters. What's done is done. And I genuinely believe for men today and even some women, a lot of stuff is just in your own head. And what I mean by that is, if you can just surround yourself with the right people, if you can just surround your mind with the right people, with the right influences, that is enough to change your life for the positive, for the better. And I believe there's a crisis on the modern day man today. There's like this crisis going on. And I believe a lot of things is in a lot of people's heads. And I believe there's a clear pathway to getting out of your own head. You just have to be able to figure that out. Because if you can just not erase, because I mean it's already happened, but if you can just step into your future, if you can just step into your present, you will have a good future. So that's the thing. You could have had not the best upbringing, and it could have messed up some of your adulthood. It could have done something. Or you might have got lucky and you had a good early on adulthood. But if you didn't, and you had a pretty bad upbringing and you had a bad adulthood thus far, you can change that around at any time. This just means you're in this self-identity crisis where you don't fully have it figured out. And you just have to work in order to figure that out. You have to have a hunger and a desire to want to do better and to want to be better because, bro, the past is the past. Your childhood is your childhood. You had what you had. And the second you become an adult, none of it matters. There's things we all wish we could have had. There's all things we wish we could have had. And I spent 0% of my time complaining about that. And it's like the second I turn 19, I'm super motivated, I'm super driven. I'm going down this path in life to figure it out. Because for my upbringing, I didn't have it shitty, but I didn't have it the best. I can't sit here at all and say I had it shitty. But I can sit here and say I didn't have it the best. There's things that I wish could have been different. I was a very talented young guy, and I wish there was more money so I could have been put in higher level sports and probably went somewhere for a sport and, been a professional athlete. But that's not what God has called. But, anyways, there's all things we wish we could have went back in time to fix. Well, not us fix, just that it could have been different. Because, bro, things like that can put you on a completely different trajectory in life. The fact that I had to come from a place where I couldn't really do that, it kind of forces you into not so good of stuff for a little while. So I'd get into some weed. Well, you don't really like your reality all that much. So you get around friends and you start to party some. You start to smoke some weed. You start to do all that kind of rebellious kind of stuff. But if things were different, I would not have taken that path. I would have been a lot more disciplined a lot earlier. I still got super disciplined early, even before 19. But I'm just saying, I could have developed better. I could have been around more positive influences and not around guys that are smoking weed and drinking and experiencing drugs and doing all that kind of stuff. Because, bro, some people, and I have friends that are like this today, some people have that experience and they never get out of it. They can't snap out of it. They continuously drink and smoke weed and do drugs throughout their entire 20s, into their 30s, into their 40s and 50s, and so on and so forth. I was able to experience that stuff a little bit for a couple of years and snap out of it and be like, that's not who I am. So I was having this like self-identity crisis, and now it's like I have to work my ass off to figure this out. And that's what I was able to do, but I'm an anomaly compared to a lot of people. Because a lot of people, bro, they don't get gifted that life they should have had, that they wish they could have had. And because they didn't get this and because it wasn't like that, well, they decided to smoke, which is very bad. They decided to drink a lot because they didn't have this or that. And they're trying to cope with it. And they're trying to live a different life now because they couldn't do this. That's the thing, man. The thing is, the second you become an adult, you have a choice. The very second you become an adult, you have a choice. If you're hungry enough, if you're determined enough, you can start to live the life you always should have been living. And it's this self-identity crisis that a lot of men have to go through today, and a lot of men in general today, a lot of modern men today, are struggling with that self-identity crisis. And if you're young, that's completely understandable. You can't have it figured out. You're going to struggle with it. I struggle with it. You don't fully know what's going to happen. You don't fully know what's going to go on. You're working hard. You're doing everything you can in your power, but bro, there's just those times, man, where days are going by and it's just like, you think to yourself during those times, and I remember many, many years ago having those times, you just think like, what is going on? But if you keep sticking with the process, if you trust in the process and just keep working, things always work itself out. That's all you have to know. And like I said, if you're hungry enough and determined enough, You didn't need that perfect upbringing. You didn't need that perfect scenario that put you on this path and you were just guided there. You can mess up sometimes. You can zig when you should have zagged. You can mess up. You can go down a different path that you shouldn't have went down and recover and do it right. You can absolutely do that. And for me, for example, I was able to do that really fast. And I wasn't like out of it. I was fully aware of what I was doing the whole time. And I got out at a perfect time. And didn't let the damage to continue on because I felt it coming. I felt, you know what, this shit is starting to affect me. And I don't know how people continue to just take it that way, bro. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand that. But that's the exact self-identity crisis that those types of men are going to have to go through. Because they keep living that life. And they're lost. They're going to wake up one day, at least a little bit, or maybe they might, I don't know. Some guys will live their whole life asleep. Because waking up just to them seems so much more painful and brutal, and accepting reality, accepting full on accountability for who they are and everything else. It can be brutally tough to really get your shit together. But for me, I was leaving no stones unturned. I was making no excuses. I know who I am. And I didn't have it perfect. I didn't have it the worst either. But in my mind, I was going to win. And I just hope this speech is inspiring some of you guys to go on and do the same shit. Because, bro, there is somebody inside of yourself right now that wants to win so bad. You just want to do something so bad, bro. You have these talents. You have these gifts. You have these traits about yourself. But maybe you went down a path that you shouldn't have went down. Maybe you done something that you shouldn't have done. Maybe you got a little bit lost for some years of your life and, you wasted a lot of time. Which can cause a self-identity crisis. The bottom line is, as a man or even as a woman, you have to fight in life, guys. You have to fight for your life. You have to fight for what's right. And never forget who you are. It's so much more painful, bro. It's so much more painful to kind of let yourself go and just let yourself be and accept defeat, accept you're losing in life, accept all that stuff, and just not care. And there's things you shouldn't care about, but there's things you should care about, and that is your own self. You should care a lot about yourself. You should care a lot about your own well-being. You should care a lot about what you're going to go on and do in life. You should care about that. You should not care about it and just be a loser and pick up a beer and start drinking it and just whatever. You're just letting life be whatever. That's losing, bro. That is literally what losing is made of. Do you want to be made of that? Do you want to have to face much more thicker layers of this self-identity crisis that's going to hit you like a ton of bricks? Because I don't recommend that. What I do recommend is never allowing yourself to veer away from the best version of yourself. And stay with that. Stick with that. It's not that hard. You just got to stay healthy. You got to stay pure. You got to stay focused every day. You got to stay disciplined. You got to eat right. You got to exercise. It's not that hard. It seems like a lot from what I just said, but it's really not that hard. And you just have to try things, man. You have to try things. You have to figure out who you are. Figure out what gets you up. Figure out what makes you tick. And you're going to get answers that you absolutely need, bro. You're going to get those answers. So the women of today, they're no better. They're also having this self-identity crisis. Do you guys understand how many women just sit around and scroll on TikTok and brain rot, and their mind is just, we don't even know where their minds are at. Self-identity crisis, they're going to have to go through it in tenfold. And maybe they didn't have an upbringing that was the best. Maybe it wasn't the best. Maybe it was shit. So now they do certain things to cope. They do certain things and, well, they never got put into this. They never got put into that. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. So they use that as a way out to justify their actions they take today. That's exactly what they cannot do. It's what we cannot do. It's what none of us can do. Excuses makes you a loser. Losers make excuses. Winners find solutions to win. Does this make sense? It sure as should. That's the thing, guys. Winning is not easy. Winning is painful. Losing is painful too. Pick your painful. We're gonna feel pain regardless. I don't know about y'all. I'd rather win, feeling the pain of winning. Because it's not just winning and everything's amazing and da-da-da-da. You got to put yourself through some shit. You got to put yourself through some discomfort. Hella discomfort. It might feel better. It might be better once you actually win and some results are shown for it. But bro, on the process to winning, you're going to put yourself through pain, my friend. You're going to put yourself through pain. You're going to have to do a lot of things you've never done before. That in itself is painful. You have no experience with doing some stuff that it takes to win. You're going to go through this identity crisis, which is what you should do. But a lot of people today struggle with their own self-identities a lot because I believe it all stems from things that have happened in the past. And people get trapped. This didn't go well, that didn't go well. People kind of choose to fall down at some turn in life. But that's the mistake. We can never forget who we are as human beings. Guys, man or woman, doesn't matter. We can never lose sight of who we are, what's in us, you know? Because there's always stuff that's in us. There's always these dreams we had when we were young. There's all these things we think and believe that we can do and we can accomplish. You cannot lose that. You cannot shy away from that. You can't be the guy that gets a 12-pack of beer and you're just slugging them down, bro, and you're just drinking those beers. You're 8 in and you're talking about what you could have done and what you should be doing, but you're just loaded. You're literally piss loaded. Talking about what you should have done or what you could be doing or whatever else. Put the beers down, bro. Put the beers down and start living that reality. But the thing is, guys, a lot of people won't do that. Because reality is tough. Reality is painful. Reality requires sacrifices and disciplines, which is what a lot of people don't have. It's easy to feel good. It's easy to do something to make yourself feel good like this, like get drunk. Oh, you feel good right now, but you're not going to feel good tomorrow. And reality's going to hit. So why are you doing that to yourself? That's the thing. We have to hold ourselves accountable. And we have to, do this thing that we call life right. We have to do life right. That is what we have to do. And I'm just looking to inspire you guys in this video because, like I said, there's things about my upbringing, there's things about your guys' upbringing and whatever else. There's things about it that's not perfect. There's things about it that could have been different. There's things about it that, but everything happens for a reason. You just have to live in direct alignment with God. It's not that hard, bro. Like, it's not that hard. It really ain't. It's a decision you're going to make. It's not that hard. I promise you guys, if you were surrounded by me, I would have you more on point than you've ever been in your entire life within a month. If you don't already have your shit completely together. Because if you do, then you probably don't need me. You're probably doing it. But there's a lot of effing guys, man, that aren't on that wavelength. And some people, oh yeah, I am. Are you though? Are you though? I don't know. Are you? We don't know. Who you surround yourself with is huge, bro. It's fucking huge. You will adjust. If you were forced to be surrounded by me, you would adjust. You would up your game because you'd be forced to. You would have to. You would see how I move, and it's like, oh my God, you get this energy from me, and it's like you see what's possible, and you start to move like that now. And when you start to move like that now, your brain and your mind switches. Your self-identity changes a little bit. You guys need some positive moving forward momentum in life. And if you don't have good shit around you, you have to find a way, bro. You have to be hungry and you have to find a way to make that happen. I was able to do it and I didn't have shit around me, bro. Nothing. I never got sent away to the bigger schools. I never got sent away to the bigger sports and the bigger things. I felt at one point stuck, helpless, trapped. I felt all those things, bro. What I had was hunger. What I had was drive. You can be in the butt of nowhere. If you have those things, you will drive your way to the fucking top of the mountain. That's where you'll go. You'll drive your way to the top of the mountain because you're determined and you know who the fuck you are and you're not getting away from it. That's the kind of energy we're moving with, bro. It don't matter what happened in the past. It don't matter what you did or didn't have on your side. You are your biggest tool. You are your biggest asset. And you can use this to do anything in life. Anything. So I hope this video could inspire you guys. And like I said, you just gotta remember this stuff, bro. You can't forget it. You can't just like watch this and be like, yeah, it's got some good points, but then just kind of forget about it. This is the kind of shit, bro, that has to stick with you for life. This is the kind of shit, bro, that you have to remember every day. And never get away from that. Never get away from your true self. Never get away from the man that you are becoming. And that you're going to become. It's like, it's every day. It's just this forward momentum, and the past don't matter. It's irrelevant. But anyways, guys, I don't want to go on too much longer. That is the end of this video. And I will see y'all in the next. You guys better get to it, bro. Because we get into it. Over here. Every day. And we've been doing it for a decade. And we're going to keep doing it, bro. For the next decade. And the next. And the next. God willing. We'll see y'all at the top.